Okay, let's get started here. Get out your Ethiopian Bible. Welcome everyone to the Moslem Ministries. We're going to talk about some scriptures. And my references studies, I've been with most of these so-called revolutionary groups. Studied on Elijah Muhammad. I followed the teaching of Noble Drew Ali. I was recruited by Khalid Muhammad back in the 60s when his name was Harold X. He was the first one who told me about the Nation of Islam in Houston, Texas. And I have done a lot of scholarly research, my own. So I'm going to share some with you now. Remember, this is my viewpoint. Do your own research. But in the book of Revelations, we start talking about these seven angels, the seven vials. Everything is 7-7. Now, Noble Drew Ali talked about the seven pale-faced nations that was complicit with Babylon in oppressing us. So remember that, keep that in mind as I start at chapter 18. Now, the Ethiopian Bible, there's not much difference in the translation. The most difference is that I want you to see these images of you, my people who call themselves black. You need to get your mind back by seeing images of you in divinity and not in images of others than yourself as people who are divine. We need to get that back. Used to seeing yourself as people who are divine. So that's why I say get the Ethiopian Bible. And the added benefits is there's a lot of books that's not in the King James Bible that you need to read. It would give a lot of understanding to what you think you know. Yes, you got to study, you got to read. I know a lot of y'all don't like that because you think it's too much work. But you got to work to show yourself approved if you want to be in the God's kingdom. You got to study. There's no other way. You think God's kingdom gonna be people who are unlearned? Do you think unlearned people gonna be in God's kingdom? Come on now. You want to be in that number, you got to do the work. So let's go to chapter 18. And remember the things that we discussed before. I'm just going to read through till I think I've read enough. And we'll continue the next time. And I will, maybe if it need to be, talk about something I read just for your clarity, for your understanding. Chapter 18. And after these things I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth enlightened with the glory. And he cried mightily upon a strong voice, saying, Babylon, baby London, which is America, Babylon the Great is fallen, and is become the habitations of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and a cage of every unclean and hateful bird. For all nations have drank of the wine of the wrath of her fornications. And the kings of the earth have committed fornications with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sin, and that ye receive not of her plagues. For her sins have reached unto heaven, and God has remembered her iniquities. Reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her double according to her works. In the cup which she has filled to her double. How much she hath glorified herself and lived deliciously, so much torment and sorrow. Give her, for she said in her heart, I sit a queen, and am no widow, and shall see no sorrow. Therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine. And she said, she shall be utterly burned with fire. For strong is the Lord God who judgeth her. And the kings of the earth who have committed fornications and live deliciously with her shall bewail her and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning. Standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, Alas, alas, that great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come, and the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her. For no man buyeth their merchandise anymore. Their merchandise of gold and silver and precious stones, and of pearls and fine linen, and purple and silk and scarlet, and all fine wool, and all manner of vessels of ivory, and all manner of vessels of most precious wood, and of brass and iron and marble and cinnamon, and odors and ointments, and of frankincense, and of wines. Well, let's stop right there. I want to make sure you get the main point. There's a movie I saw. They was talking about the fall of Babylon, but it has another title. but they're talking about Babylon. So we're going to stop for now. And remember, when you read that about the great horde of so many waters, they're talking about America. When they talk about the cage of every foul bird, they're talking about the people who have to fly here to get here. They got to fly. Or come across the waters, or whatever way they get here, they are in a cage. They don't know it yet. So those who are being assisted to go back to their country, remember this is for your protection. Because the people who persist in this debauchery, they're the one the judgment is for. So don't get all upset if you have to go back to your country, because you don't want to be here. You're going to wish you was in your country, no matter how distasteful you may think it is. When America judgment comes, you don't want to be here. So it's a mercy to you to leave willingly. So I didn't talk about the angels, the seven angels. They say the churches. I say no, they're to nations. Well, since I'm getting a little hoarse, I'm gonna cut it short, and we'll talk next time. Thanks again, and stopping by. Greetings to the chat.